The night the news broke, it felt like watching a slow-motion avalanche. Somewhere in a dimly lit bedroom, a fan refreshed Spotify on their phone for the 100th time. The counter under Drake's Scorpion flicked from 10,999,999,999 to 11,000,001 in an instant. A threshold crossed, a moment amplified. In the world of streaming metrics, this was seismic. Scorpion had become only the second rap or hip-hop album ever to amass more than 11 billion streams on Spotify. It wasn't just another milestone. It was proof that, in the streaming era, Drake's reach remains breathtakingly vast. But even as the numbers rolled in, a quieter story was unfolding in the background. A narrative about artistry, about legacy, and about how those billions of streams cast a long shadow over Kendrick Lamar's own achievements. Welcome to Celebrity Rap Life, where the red carpets never roll up and the spotlight never fades. The rewards are legendary. Because in Celebrity Rap Life, every downfall can become a comeback, and every headline tells a deeper story. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a second of what's coming next. When Scorpion landed on June 29, 2018, it was met with equal parts celebration and critique. 25 tracks, split into rap and R&B halves, felt either genius or indulgent, depending on whom you asked. No one could deny Drake's calculated mastery of streaming mechanics. More songs, more plays, more chart dominance. Scorpion debuted with record-shattering first-week numbers, spawning earworms like God's Plan and In My Feelings that became cultural juggernauts. Those singles alone drove billions of streams, but it was the album's sheer volume, its track list sprawling from aggressive boasts to introspective ballads, that truly turbocharged its totals. Each listen, each replay, each algorithmic recommendation added fuel to Scorpion's insatiable fire. Meanwhile, Kendrick Lamar's career was charting a different course, one defined by critical acclaim, cultural impact, and artistic boldness. While Drake's approach was built on ubiquity, Kendrick's was built on precision. He released fewer songs, but each one carried a weight that echoed far beyond streaming counts.
Damn.
Won a Pulitzer Prize, a first for a hip-hop album. To Pimp a Butterfly redefined the boundaries of rap's sonic possibilities. Good Kid, Mad City narrated a young artist's coming of age with a cinematic intensity. Kendrick's projects were events, moments when the world paused to listen, dissect, and debate. His achievements weren't measured solely in plays or chart positions, but in how they shifted the cultural landscape. Yet even the most ardent Kendrick Lamar devotees found themselves confronted by the stark reality of those 11 billion Scorpion streams. On social media and in comment sections around the globe, fans began to frame the conversation in terms of raw numbers. They celebrated Drake's streaming supremacy as evidence that he remains the biggest voice in hip-hop. The implication was clear: if Drake can amass a performance on par with entire continents of ears, then maybe his impact trumps Kendrick's quieter, more subterranean revolution. It was a statistic that felt impossible to ignore, even for those who believed that artistry couldn't be quantified. But the story becomes richer when you look beyond the surface. Streaming numbers, after all, are one dimension of success, one shaped by strategy, saturation, and the mechanics of playlists. Drake's partnership with TikTok influencers, his surprise guest verses, and his tendency to release double-digit track lists all feed into the algorithms that drive plays. Kendrick, by contrast, has embraced the power of scarcity. He dropped Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers with little fanfare and let the art speak for itself. Despite fewer tracks and a more measured rollout, the album still climbed the charts and clinched Grammy wins. It didn't need 11 billion streams to secure its place in hip-hop history. Consider the way fans engage with each artist. Drake's music often slips into the background of daily life, work playlists, gym rotations, road trip soundtracks. His melodies are designed to be accessible, his lyrics to be instantly quotable. Kendrick's work demands full attention. When To Pimp a Butterfly unleashed its jazz-infused soul, it required listeners to slow down, to absorb complex themes of race, identity, and systemic oppression. That depth fosters an intimacy and a loyalty that streaming numbers can't fully capture. Kendrick's fans will tell you they cherish those nuanced layers more than they obsess over monthly listeners. Still, it's undeniable that Scorpion's streaming milestone has reshaped the narrative around current hip-hop dominance. In an industry that prizes metrics, reaching 11 billion streams is more than a bragging right. It's hard evidence that Drake's formula resonates globally. It suggests that while Kendrick Lamar's achievements command critical respect, they don't necessarily translate to the same viral momentum on digital platforms. It raises questions about whose music is more widely embraced in everyday contexts, and whose influence extends into mainstream culture on a macro scale. Drake's streaming triumph also highlights how the music business has evolved. Not so long ago, platinum plaques and sold-out tours were the principal markers of success. Now, the conversation is dominated by unseen numbers, plays, skips, streams per listener, algorithmic shuffles. In this landscape, mass consumption is king, and few artists have mastered the art of ubiquity like Drake. He has built a career on understanding where listeners dwell online and meeting them there with content tailored to every mood and every algorithmic twist. Kendrick Lamar, for his part, has always seemed ambivalent about such metrics. His artistic compass points inward, towards self-reflection and social commentary. He's crafted albums that defy easy categorization and hire the sharpest critical minds to decode every bar. His impact is measured in the conversations his music sparks, in classrooms, in think pieces, in social justice rallies. Those aren't captured by streaming tallies, but they resonate in a different register, one that lingers long after the last play count is recorded. Of course, it's not an either/or proposition. Fans can appreciate Drake's streaming genius and Kendrick's artistic depth simultaneously. Yet when headlines declare that Scorpion has overshadowed Kendrick's achievements, it underscores a tension at the heart of hip-hop today. Are we more impressed by vast digital empires or by cultural earthquakes that alter perceptions of the art form? Does 11 billion streams suggest superior artistry, or does it simply reflect an artist attuned to the mechanics of modern distribution? Dig a little deeper, and you'll see that Kendrick Lamar's achievements still shine in ways no streaming metric can eclipse. He's won Album of the Year at the Grammys. He's headlined global festivals. He's influenced a generation of rappers to pursue thematic cohesion over viral hooks. He's used his platform to speak on police brutality, systemic racism, and mental health. His voice has become a moral compass, a rallying cry, a mirror held up to society. Drake's 11 billion streams might be more numerically impressive, but Kendrick's cultural capital is arguably more enduring. Then there's the question of legacy. When future historians look back at this era, what will they remember? Will they cite streaming records as the ultimate measure of greatness, or will they point to albums that changed the fabric of the genre? Scorpion may hold the streaming crown, but albums like To Pimp a Butterfly and Good Kid, Mad City occupy the rarefied space where music becomes social commentary, where beats and bars transform into collective catharsis. Those are triumphs that outlast the lifespan of a single platform. Still, it's hard to ignore the numbers. 11 billion streams spark headlines, fuel social media debates, and reinforce Drake's status as an unstoppable force. As fans scroll through the count, it's easy to feel that Kendrick's quieter accomplishments are running a different race, one judged by critical scores and award statues rather than by algorithmic tallies. It's a reminder that in today's hybrid industry, success wears many faces. There is room for the platinum-plated hitmaker and the Pulitzer-winning poet to coexist, even if their achievements are measured differently. In the end, the debate between streaming supremacy and cultural impact may be less about crowning a single king, and more about understanding hip-hop's expanding possibilities. Drake has shown how to dominate airwaves and algorithmic feeds on a global scale. Kendrick has demonstrated how rap can be wielded as high art, as social critique, as nuanced storytelling. Both approaches push the culture forward, albeit in distinct ways. The fact that we're able to celebrate both 11 billion streams and groundbreaking artistic statements is a testament to hip-hop's versatility and its capacity to embrace multiple definitions of success. As the Scorpion counter continues to climb, and as Kendrick's next project looms on the horizon, perhaps the real victory lies in this plurality. Hip-hop has room for artists whose names top the streaming charts and artists whose names headline scholarly analysis. 11 billion streams may feel like a coronation for Drake, but Kendrick's art stands as its own kingdom, one built on ideas, on integrity, on the power to shift perspectives. And that kingdom, unlike any streaming milestone, is impervious to the ebb and flow of algorithms. If there is a definitive answer to who wins hip-hop today, it won't be found in raw numbers alone. It will be discovered in the interplay between popularity and profundity, between playlists and protest songs, between billions of streams and moments that reshape cultural consciousness. Drake's Scorpion may have topped 11 billion plays, but Kendrick Lamar's legacy plays on in a more subtle yet equally potent register. In the evolving story of rap, both artists occupy essential chapters Chapters that remind us that greatness cannot be measured by a single metric, no matter how vast. This story is far from over, and the truth is still unfolding. I want to hear what you think. Drop your take in the comments. And if you don't want to miss the next twist, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a second of what's coming next.